Hello, hey, hi, it is I, Dr. Beep Boop, your hyperactive ghost host, giving you a little bit of a message here prior to sharing an older episode about Royal and the Serpent because tonight I will be seeing Royal and the Serpent again at the Basement East this time. If you heard the Royal and the Serpent episode or you read it on the Substack, which I would say read it on the Substack if you haven't, because it has photos and videos and lots of other corners of my conversation from the time. This was actually one of the first pieces I ever put up on the Substack. Yeah, in fact, it might be the first fully involved piece I ever put up on the Substack. It wasn't Hyperactive Ghost at the time. It is obviously now. But I thought it was fitting that since I'm going to see Royal and the Serpent tonight, that I would give you that episode, the recorded episode, and to point you toward the Royal and the Serpent one on the Substack, right? So what I think is a good idea is to use this space to raise awareness when there are shows playing live in Nashville, right? Or whenever I'm going to be at one. So I'm excited to see Royal and the Serpent tonight. I think it's a really great bookend to the way all of this came to pass. I think we should all get out and throw some dollars at musicians who are excellent. They're touring and they don't charge $150 a ticket, right? Right. And even though when I say that, we all know that it's not really the artists that have the problem. It's fees. But my point here is that if you're wondering, how am I supposed to keep my live music world afloat? How do I keep doing this? Well, choose artists that aren't the ones that you're trying to get into an arena for, right? Royal and Serpent, you've heard her songs. You have. You just might not know. So head down to the Basement East tonight in Nashville, Tennessee to see Royal and the Serpent. And this time she is playing with, drum roll. I should probably have already queued this up. And here we go. It is with Snow Wife and Slush Puppy. Yeah. So get down there. And if you see a weird redhead, that's me. That's me. And anyway, here is the episode from before on Royal and the Serpent. Hello. Hey. Hi. It is I, Dr. Beep Boop, and I'm coming to you from Hyperactive Ghost Headquarters, which is, it's Substack. Is Substack. For those of you who are unaware, Hyperactive Ghost is a Substack. It has text posts, photos and videos from the shows I go to, and, some video stuff. And then in this here podcast right here, that is going to also still have more things because I can't stop adding things. But that is what Hyperactive Ghost is. I knew that it would be more than the way that I was seeing it. I wanted it to be more of a concept so that when I started to add things to it, it didn't seem like a weird idea, right? I didn't want to go brand so hard that I wasn't able to, I wasn't able to be flexible. So for those of you who are you've heard a few episodes now and you're like, okay, who is this person? I, Dr. Beep Boop, I'm a real doctor, just not a medical one. There's a long joke with, not a real doctor, right? But, if you're on a plane and you have a heart attack, I can't save your life. But if you have a heartbreak, then I might be able to help you. I am a Swiss Army goth, which means that I will show up and I have a bunch of different tools that I can. It's what do you need today? Oh, you need me to listen. Cool. Oh, you need me to plug in with an aux so that I could send you live. Okay, I could do that too. Right? That's just the kind of person that I am. So this episode is called Welcome to the Taxidermy of My Brain, but it is about the Royal and the Serpent show at Exit in October of 2023. Now, I came back around to this piece because it is the first It's really the first fully involved piece I put on the Substack. And I only did this, like, I wrote that piece like a couple of days after the show. Like, I'm pretty sure I started writing it the next day. But what I allowed myself to do in that post is to kind of romp around with like the ideas that I had, because I didn't take myself very seriously in that one. I've always sort of oscillated between this idea of like seeming a little insecure, but then really underneath it all having this supreme creative confidence that means I will say and do things a lot of people would talk themselves out of before they do, like starting this whole venture of hyperactive ghost, right? Right. So here's the thing. The project for hyperactive ghost is depth, conceptualization. It is not intended to be a quick anything. But to that end, I'm going to try to get on track here with this one. So for those of you who are not familiar with Royal and the Serpent, the whole idea is that it is that she's discussing is the duality between us and our egos. Right. So this conversation that we're having within ourselves and this constant negotiation is what Royal and the Serpent is sort of representing. So here's the thing. I show up, it's October 2023, and I show up at Exit In. So I'm standing there, and I had just looked and I just realized that there were 3 openers. I feel like I might have seen that when I bought the ticket, but that part is pretty shaky. But what I can say is this. When I realized that there were 3 shows, all 3 openers, all I thought was that I was just going to be there late. I didn't know about the sound ordinance until like the next day, which for those of you who aren't aware, Nashville has this sound ordinance that it's not like, if you look it up, it's like, no, it's fine. There's wiggle room there. But this particular night there wasn't, because right before 11 o'clock, everybody was like, done, GTFO. And I felt like I was scurrying off like a rat scurrying off a ship, right? Like, quick, get out. That's kind of what it felt like.